is Lacey, your Las Vegas gal. I'm here with my good friend Amber Coleman from Guild Mortgage here in Las Vegas, Nevada. And we're going to talk today about how you can prepare your credit to get ready to buy a house. So a lot of people have these, preconceived notions that if they ever had a bankruptcy or if their score is below a certain number, they're just not ever going to be able to qualify for a home or ever do anything big with their life. But those are all BS. We're going to talk to Amber today about what it does take to really clean up your credit, because credit does matter, especially when it comes to buying a house, and what you can do to get yourself prepared. So I know the score is the first thing you guys look at, but when you're looking at the score, what are some things within the credit? Say their score is not quite where it needs to be. What are some things that you would recommend to somebody to kind of start to prepare themselves to get ready to buy a house?
So first, don't ever feel bad about whatever your credit is, because it doesn't matter. This is the judge-free zone.
Judge-free zone.
So,
hashtag judge-free zone.
Yeah, exactly. So I look at it, and then I just tell you how to get there.
Yeah.
There's no judgment.
And that's actually a big reason why I work with Amber so often. A lot of my clients do choose to work with Amber because of the fact that she comes at you let's just put a plan together and make it happen. There is, to your point, no judgment, but also she puts you at ease because she has the knowledge and information about what really matters and what doesn't. A lot of people think, I guess it's going to be 5 years before my credit will be ready to buy a house, but that's not always true. And Amber can take a look and tell you exactly what to do, so you're not wasting your time on something else.
Yeah, and we want you to have hope for your dream of home ownership too.
Yeah, so you bring hope. You bring calm, and you bring no judgment. I love that.
Exactly.
So tell me, say I've got, low 600s. Maybe I had something happen in my past, or I had too much credit debt or whatever. Maybe I had some collections. Tell me what it is I should be doing. What are the most important things to kind of bump that credit score up quickly?
So a lot of the times it's the same stuff that I'll see over and over again. Number one is the balances on the credit cards.
Okay.
So if you have, and people think differently than how credit works.
Yeah.
So say you have a $500 balance on a Capital One credit card. Mm-hmm. The best thing to do is to keep that balance under 30%. So you want to always keep the balance under $150.
So it's a $5,000 limit, and you're saying keep it at 30% or below for how much you have sitting on the credit card.
Yeah.
Okay.
So did I say 5,000 or 500?
I think it was 5. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
I don't know.
So 30% of the balance, because the more that you can see that you have available, the better the credit does. Hopefully that's not confusing.
So if I have a $10,000 credit line with Capital One or Chase or whoever, you're saying I need to make sure that I am only charging up to 30% of that card.
Yes.
Or if I have more than that, just pay it down to at least 30% or below.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that will keep the scores moving forward. A lot of times when the credit scores they're a little bit lower, it's because the cards are maxed out.
Got it.
And sometimes people don't understand that that's what causes the scores to go down.
A lot of people say, I have 4 credit cards with $10,000 and $15,000 limits, but we're like, yeah, you do, but you also have $15,000 on each of them. So that's the reason.
Yeah,
okay.
So it's what's available on the card that matters.
Okay.
The second thing is the collections. So sometimes you go to the doctor, you didn't realize you owe a bill, they send you to collections, you don't find out till you call me in and there's a collection on there.
Yeah, I have those on mine. All of a sudden, I'm like, where did this come from? I don't even remember going to that doctor.
Yeah, because the medical, they do report that kind of stuff all the time. So what you could do is just, especially if it's medical, because medical is easier to call them up and say, hey, I didn't know this was here. I'll pay it in full if you can give me a deletion letter.
Right.
They can get a deletion. If they give you a deletion letter, some companies will say no. A lot of the medical ones will say
to me. Yeah.
A lot of the medical ones will say yes.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
So the other ones, if it's a utility bill and stuff like that, you might not have as good as luck. So try to pay those ones.
But do you have to have the deletion letter in order to show you paid it, or can you show the receipt that you paid it? I paid it in full. I saw it on my credit. I paid that $400. I had no idea about whether it's medical or not. Does the deletion letter have to come, or does the receipt that you paid matter?
Well, if you just pay it, it still shows on your credit.
Got it.
So it's the line that's hurting your credit.
Got it. Okay.
So you want to remove the line.
Gotcha.
Because even if you paid it to 0, your scores are still going to remain the same.
Okay, good to know. So that deletion letter is the
deletion letter is very important to get. And then with the deletion letter, what I'll usually do is I'll send it into the bureaus to rescore it.
Okay,
So
cool.
it takes 5 to 7 days if I have a letter.
Okay. So the goal would be, talk to you first, run your information so that you kind of know where you stand. Even if you don't plan to buy for a year or 2, it's good to talk to somebody like you who knows what they're doing and who can tell you, don't waste your time on this, focus on that, get those deletion letters, and that gives you the time to call and harass and do whatever you need to do to get them to give up that letter, that coveted letter, right?
Exactly, the coveted letter. We need the coveted letter.
And then to your point, like you'll either submit it to the bureaus or you can do it yourself, I believe, as well. But you want to make sure that they're rescoring you when time is appropriate, correct? Okay.
To get the scores up quickly.
Nice.
And a lot of times it's, I've taken people that are really low FICO scores and within a certain amount of time gotten them into a house. So
wow.
It's not as hard as it looks. It's just a matter of following the plan.
And that's the thing, is having a plan, I think.
Yeah.
To your point, like judge-free zone, we don't judge what your credit is. Like it genuinely has to be a moment in time in your life when you're ready to buy a house that you're really to like open up that, trench coat or the rib cage and say, see everything I have to offer, be as transparent as possible with someone like Amber so that she can really dive in and help you, because it could just be a matter of one thing that needs to be done. But if you didn't tell her, or you were too ashamed to mention it, or it didn't pop up on the initial list, but you told her about it, like if she doesn't know, she can't help, right?
Exactly.
So putting a plan together matters for sure with someone who knows what they're doing. Not me.
Of course.
You.
Of course.
That's why I partner with her. She's my unicorn best friend in home loans, and I love it. So credit the score matters, obviously. If the score is low, you're saying deletion letters are important. You're saying keeping the balances low on all your cards, under 30% if possible. What else are we missing?
Sometimes, because sometimes if the credit is lower, maybe there's a lack of credit cards on there too.
Oh, okay. I think we had that recently with one of my clients. They didn't have very much credit, so you encourage them to go and open a credit card and use it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
we're not telling you to go open more credit cards. You have to be in a certain bracket in order to go do that.
Talk to me first before you do it. Because sometimes it can hurt, sometimes it can help. So it's always good to have that plan. But so a lot of times if there's a lack of credit on there, then I'll tell them, and sometimes they have a hard time getting approved for a credit card too. So I'll say, go to your bank that you bank with and ask for a secured credit card.
Oh.
And that's where you put up like let's just say example $300, and they open a credit card with your own money.
So you have a credit card. It's officially on your credit that you now have a credit card, but you're essentially just tricking the credit bureaus into believing that you have a credit card.
Yeah, you're putting your own money up to charge back on your own money.
Got it. So it's essentially like using a debit card with your own money.
But then sometimes people think, well, it's my own money, so I could just charge that all the way up to the maximum. You still don't want to do that.
That's a good point.
You want to keep it down low, because the whole point of the secured credit card is to build credit.
Got it.
So, and the banks will give those out easier if you haven't already had established credit.
So what are things that help your credit? So I know that credit cards help, obviously, as long as they're kept to a minimum in terms of the balance. Car payments help, I'm assuming.
They do help.
What else are some things?
Credit cards are the best ones.
They're the fastest, right?
And you can manipulate the numbers really easy just by keeping the balances down. And
Got it.
The revolving credit, for some reason, builds the credit a lot faster than a car does. It's important to have a car on there.
Or you have to have something, right?
Yeah, an installment loan of some sort. Having a house on there always helps too. You'll find that once you do purchase the house, that your scores will start doing a lot better because you show more on there.
If someone's renting, I've seen this a few times in Vegas, if someone's renting like a house or an apartment or whatever, and they can pay an additional like $11 a month to have the rent that they pay on time reported to the credit bureau. Is that something that helps as well? That's considered similar to a car payment or a house payment?
It's like an installment loan.
So that helps them as well. Yeah. So that would be
because it gives a good trade, as long as they're not late.
Well, right.
It gives a good trade line on there.
Good. So
and honestly, when you're buying the house, we sometimes if the credit is minimal, we have to verify rent anyway.
Oh, okay.
So then that
helps.
Shows a rental history on the credit, so that does help.
So if you're renting right now and you're thinking of possibly buying and you don't have a lot of credit, you're going to go open a card after you talk to Amber, right? You'll get all of that situated. You'll put the plan together. That could be a part of the plan, is to go to your landlord or go to the company that you're renting from and ask if they can start reporting your on-time payments, even if you have to pay $11 or whatever it is, because that might help again.
Help a little bit,
it could assist you with that planning.
Yeah.
Are you missing anything? So we've got, make sure your credit limits are down, make sure that you're getting those deletion letters, the coveted deletion letters.
Make sure you're paying your bills on time. 30-day lates can bring you down by... But remember, if somebody reports you late just because you're late, like you paid a late fee, it doesn't go to your credit till you're 30 days late.
So you've missed a payment the 31st day after missing a payment.
The 31st day is when they can report you late. So if you were less than 30 days late, definitely they make the creditors make mistakes all the time. So definitely call them on their mistakes. So we can try to get letters stating that that's off too. But
So you're saying, so if I have a car payment, in fact, this happened to me recently. I was moving and I switched addresses and I was switching banks at the same time, because I do a lot at once. And so my car payment was scheduled to come out of one bank. I forgot to switch it to the fifth day of the month, which is the late day. After the fifth, it's late, came up and passed. And then I got an email saying we haven't received your car payment. And I freaked out because I thought, oh my God, it's going to ruin my credit. I can't believe I missed this. I just forgot to switch the bank, went in and made the payment, but it was like 7 or 10 days late. It wasn't. Or it was 4 days late beyond the fifth day. So that doesn't hit my credit then. You're saying, but it could have. Like they may report it that it did. And then it's up to me to be able to make sure I'm looking if it's reported and go and challenge it if that's the case. Yeah. That's good to know. That just made me feel so much better.
And they make mistakes all the time. So I've seen people, like I just had a client, her FICO score dropped 40 points. And I said, well, something just reported a 30-day late. And she said, I wasn't late on that. So then she had to go back to the creditor, go through their dispute process or whatever. And then they sent a letter over. So then we were able to get it taken off and then raise her scores back up. So it does happen where they make mistakes.
Yeah. Okay, that's good to know.
So it's good to watch that kind of stuff.
Let me ask you about companies that are that claim that they can clean up your credit, like Credit Karma. And I mean, not to bash them or anything, but I know that I'm not a huge fan of what they do because what they tend to focus on, and we've talked about it, I think, before, is challenging things on your credit versus actually working a plan for you to raise that score. They have like kind of a one-track thing. What is your opinion on all of those types of companies?
Well, Credit Karma is more, I always like to talk about Credit Karma because
that's the most popular.
There's a misconception with Credit Karma too.
Yeah.
So Credit Karma is a company that they charge just for you to pull credit. So people will pull the credit and then go off those scores. Those scores are not right. The scores are... The way that they pull credit is different than what I would pull as a mortgage company or even what a car loan would pull if you're buying a car or even with a credit card because they have all the raw data from the bureaus, but they don't have the scores from the bureaus.
Oh.
So when
they're almost assuming their own score based on the raw data.
Yeah. So when people pull Credit Karma and see the credit scores, I always tell them Credit Karma is a great resource, I think, to go on there and make sure that you're not getting people checking your credit because you want to make sure nobody's got your information.
Right.
You always
want
identity
identity theft.
For identity theft, so it's very good to have it for that. And you want to be able to check the lines on your credit. So like if your credit card balances and your car loans, to make sure that they're not reporting you late, to make sure that the balance is showing correct, to check all the raw data.
But it's not there to elevate your credit score.
But don't look at the credit scores because like yesterday, for example, I had one that he called me and said, I just pulled my credit on Credit Karma and it's showing low, and I pulled it and it showed 60 points higher. But then there's other people
60 points difference?
The 60 point difference. But then there's other people I've talked to that they're like, oh, I got a great score on Credit Karma and I pull it and it's 100 points lower.
Oh my God.
So it's the score, the way that they figure scores is different.
Yeah.
So I just wouldn't look at that part.
But they market themselves as we'll help you fix your credit. And that's, unfortunately, I think that's a huge misconception because I've even bought in thinking, oh great, I'm going to fix my credit, not whatever the issue was. And what I noticed immediately was all they were doing was sending out letters on my behalf to challenge things that were on there that I knew were either legit or like that, I needed to like do more research on. And they just started, were sending out letters on my behalf. And I started getting all these letters saying, sorry, we don't approve your request to remove this from your credit. And I was like, I don't even think I asked to have it removed. So it's just very confusing to me. I thought that they were there to help me build my credit or fix my credit. And really, if you look at it the right way, they're there to help you monitor your credit. Yeah. More than anything.
And I'm this is an opinion, but
I'm
not
total opinion.
I'm not a big fan on paying somebody to repair the credit.
Right.
Because it's something that could be done for free yourself. Yeah, it's something that you could be done yourself just with the plan.
Well, so really it could be call Amber. Hey Amber, I'm thinking about buying a house in 5 years, 2 years, 1 year, 6 months, 1 week, doesn't matter. Great, let me pull your credit. Great, here's what I need you to do. You guys have an amazing tool that you use to where you can actually look at if they pay this is what it does. If they do that on their credit, this is what it does, right?
Yeah, and
so it's a simulator that helps you really give them a genuine plan, not just go delete all the bad stuff on your credit and make it work. Now you're saying that doesn't matter, leave that there, let's just focus on this because that's what's really dinging your number.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And I think out of all of that, like and it's free because you're using...
It is free. So anytime, even if you have like a 680 and you're trying to get to a 720, I mean, a 680 you can get a house, no problem.
Sure.
You can get a house down to a 580, to be honest with you.
Wow. Well, there's different programs for sure.
But if you want to get higher, because the higher you are, the better your rate is. So I'll always run that and I'll say, here, I'm going to give you a report that says what you can do to your credit to pay things down or to get up to the score that you're wanting.
Awesome. The biggest lesson I want you to take from this is, we're talking about preparing your credit to buy a house, is the sooner you start this conversation and this program and this plan, the better. Inevitably, I get people calling me all the time saying, I want to buy a house, I'm ready to look tomorrow, which is awesome. I'm excited because I'm the realtor. I want to sell them that house. But the problem is that maybe they have about 6 months worth of work to do with Amber's team to get their credit to where it needs to be before they're really going to get the rate that they need, the payment that they want, and can qualify for that much more. So it just becomes kind of a dance. And I get sad because I say, well, gosh, I know you're excited and you think we found the house that you want, but online, and you want me to go show it to you. But the reality is if you could just wait 6 more months, and we know that house may not be there in 6 months. So start today. Even if you're like, just even in the initial process of, I think I may want to buy a house someday. I mean, it's always good to have a conversation with somebody.
Exactly. And
for free, not paying credit card.
And don't give up on it either. I mean, because I hate it. I hate, like, my heart hurts when people go see the house that they want and then the credit's pulled and there's something wrong with it. We can make it work.
Yeah. That's why I work with her.
Like, let's make it work and get you into your house of your dreams.
Yeah.
So
I love it. Well, thank you so much for sitting with me today.
You're
my little unicorn
having me.
home loan girl. I love it. Amber, if you can't tell, is super knowledgeable. So if you have any questions related to specifically loan stuff, I'm not your girl for that. I can't legally even comment on rates or anything of that nature. So that's why I partner with someone like this. So there's a link below. Click on the link, fill out the form, and I'll make sure that Amber gets in touch with you so you guys can start chatting about putting your plan together to buy a house. If you're ready to buy a house, or you just want to talk to me about the market, please feel free to click that other link below and fill out the form, and I'll certainly give you a call and we can start that conversation. But otherwise, it's all groovy here in Las Vegas while we're fixing our credit, and I'm happy about it. I don't know about you.
It is.
It's time to get
a groovy time.
Get groovy and get your credit moving. Thanks so much for watching, and be sure to like and subscribe and comment below. And I'll talk to you soon. Lacey, your Las Vegas gal.
Bye.
Okay, that was a good one.
Yeah, we did good. Credit miss. Check.